Hey everyone, this is Russell. I want to welcome you to today's webinar, and this is one that I am super excited about. I hope you guys are as well. Before we get started, I want to make sure you guys can all hear me. If you are able to hear my voice, shout out in the question box, say hello. Awesome. Okay, coming through loud and clear. So this is one I really debated going back and forth on if I should share this module with you guys or not, because this is like some of you guys may remember we did we launched a $25,000 and $100,000 package a few months ago, where we were basically teaching people how to set up their own mini call centers, and what you guys are getting today is what those guys got. So I'm trying to over deliver. I hope you guys are feeling that and you're excited, because this is going to be really good stuff. So it's awesome. So we got a lot of you guys on here. Ted, welcome. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing awesome. I'm excited for you guys. So as you know, we're kind of the live webinars. If you're just getting into the program now, you may need to go back and kind of catch up. But what we're going to be talking about today is kind of towards the end of your funnel. This is module number 5, and in this module we're going to be covering how to sell your super high ticket things, right? So we've covered, in fact, let me open up really quick here. There we go. Okay, so as you guys know, as we've been going through this this training process, this is the funnel that we're all building out, right? Which is the black box. And as you notice, there's some pieces. We spent the first couple weeks focusing on the free plus shipping product. We then talked about the invisible funnel, creating out this entire funnel. We gave you guys like more training on this than I think anyone could ever dream of, but to really understand this part of it. And then the last steps after you do an invisible funnel, you're gonna get somebody to apply for your high ticket thing, for your coaching, for your software, for whatever it is that your really expensive thing at the top of your value ladder you want to sell. This is how we do this step of the process, okay? And while on the outside it looks very simple and very non-complex, there's actually a lot of little pieces behind the scenes that, when you understand, makes this process really easy. I think what a lot of you guys are going to enjoy is just the fact that for a lot of you guys, you went through this process, okay? So I'm being very transparent here in everything we're doing. You guys are going to see how we got you into this coaching program, okay? And so the fact that you guys are all here is living proof that what I'm talking about works. And all you have to do now is kind of model it, and you guys will see very similar results as well. I think that this process will make some of you guys millions and millions of dollars. In fact, I know people who just they don't even do this whole front part of the funnel. All they do is an application form, and some of them are making 6 figures a month or more just doing that part of it. So this is a very powerful piece of the puzzle. But when it's applied to this entire black box funnel, I think that's the way you really maximize it, where you're able to get a lot more leads in the front door. You're able to monetize those leads and build an amazing relationship with them in a very short period of time. And then when you ask them to apply, they're warmed up and much more likely to sign up and to purchase whatever it is that you're selling on the back. Okay. So some of you guys may not have a back-end coaching program yet. And so to begin with, I want to talk a little about that. Like, and for some of your businesses, you may be confused, like, what could my back-end thing be? And so I want to just kind of address that a little bit. The very first time that I ever did a back-end coaching program, like a real one we were going to charge a lot of money for, I remember at the time our business was kind of struggling. We had to figure out, like, how can we raise a lot of money really quickly? And so we had this idea for a back-end coaching program. And I remember sitting in this office with a few people on my team, and we mapped out. We said, like, if we were to create the best possible thing, the best experience for somebody, what would that be? We said, okay, well, first thing, we need to do this. And we wrote it up on a board. Then we need to do this. And we just, for like 2 or 3 hours, we sat there throwing out as many ideas as we could, making them as crazy as possible. We didn't want any kind of, we didn't want to censor ourselves. We wanted to give any idea we could. And eventually we had this huge whiteboard full of ideas. And we looked at it and we're like, well, some of those things probably aren't realistic. We're not going to let people come to Russell's house and hang out. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. And so we kind of started trimming it down until we found what would be an ideal package. It would be the most value we could possibly give somebody, and that's what we sold. And it sold really well. And that's kind of what we've done as we've created other back-end coaching programs. We developed this one. That was a big thing. It was, what would be the best possible thing we can give someone? I really think the best thing is this black box funnel. And let's help people build out this entire thing. And when it's done, now they got something easy we can drive traffic to, and they can make money on the front, in the middle, and on the back end of the business. Okay. And so that's kind of the concept is what is this? What's this back end thing you could sell? Okay. For some of you guys, I know we got a lot of people that are in network marketing programs. Sometimes this application is just an application to work with you on your team in your company. Okay. This is how a lot of the MLM people use this. Okay. They're selling an MLM in the back, but they never even talk about that. Up front, they're talking about how they generate leads or how they can help somebody cure their health problems or whatever their front end thing is to get the right people in the front door. Then they have this invisible funnel training on. In the end, they're like, hey, we've got this, I'm part of this really cool program. Apply over here and you can work with me and become part of it. And you get people applying to come join your team, which is a much better way to get people to join your team than to go out there and talk to your friends and family and try to sell them and all that hard stuff. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just look at whatever it is you're selling, whatever it is you're teaching during this invisible funnel, how can you take that to the next level, okay? One way is to do a coaching program like this, like the one you guys are going through right now. Okay, you guys are seeing me fulfill a high-ticket product. Okay, it's basically taking my system and then breaking it down week by week and do a lot more hand-holding and one-on-one. You guys have a chance to submit videos for me, and I respond back to them, and you have a chance to do call-in hours. And there's a lot of interaction where we can help coach you through the process, and that's what you're getting at the higher-level programs. Okay. When I first got started, I remember the first time I did, actually so I'd sold a $500 a month or $500 one-time coaching program. That was my first one I ever did. Second one was $1,000 one time. And I remember that at that time I joined a mastermind from a guy named Matt Fury. Some of you guys may have heard of him, but he was in the weight loss space and in the conditioning space, and he made a bunch of money. Then he started kind of branching more into the internet marketing. And anyway, he had this mastermind group, and I think it was like $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month to join or something like that. So I signed up for it, and I was part of this group. And it was really pretty cool. What they do is 3 times a year they meet down in Tampa, and you go to these events, and then once a month they have these calls, and you get on this call and you just talk and just share ideas, kind of like I'm doing right now. And with his, there was no really focus. It was just kind of he would just randomly just talk about whatever he was going to talk about for the day, but it was really fun. And I remember on the call he was talking about selling high ticket stuff, and then he opened up for questions. I remember the first guy got on, and this was like this weightlifting dude, and the guy was like, hey Matt, so how should I sell, what should I sell for my high ticket? I have no idea what to even sell. And Matt sat there for a second and said, you know what you should do? You should put on an event where people can come to your house and lift weights with you, and you should charge $5,000 for it. And the guy was like, oh, that's a cool idea. I'm going to go do that. The next guy got on and said, well, Matt, this is my program. I teach people how to blah, 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 whatever. What should I do for my high-ticket thing? And Matt kind of sat there for a second and said, you know what you should do? You should have them fly to your house, sit down in your home office, and work with them for a weekend to build their website and charge them $5,000 to do it. And that guy's like, that's a great idea. I'm going to do it. And then the third guy got on, and I can't remember what his business was. But same kind of thing. He asked Matt the same question, and Matt's answer, by this point I was laughing because his answer, everyone was like, you know what you should do? You should just put on a program in your home or your hometown or whatever. Have people fly to you and charge $5,000 for it. And after the third one, I got it. The light bulbs clicked in my head, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. And so at the time, I had a really small list. It wasn't very big. And literally the next morning, so I listened to that teleseminar like at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Next morning, I woke up and I sent an email out to my list just saying, hey guys, I got this whole internet marketing thing I've been doing. I want people to come to my home. You're gonna come to Boise. We're gonna hang out for a couple days. You'll come to my house. We'll hang out, and it's gonna be $5,000. And I sent the email out, and I waited. And the first day I had no sales, and I was like, oh, it didn't work. But the second day I had 2 sales came through at $5,000 a pop. Boom, $10,000. And for me at the time, $10,000 was insane. I was just like, I can't believe people just paid $10,000 for this. And so I was super fired up. And so that got me really excited. And so I was like, well, how else can I market this? So I started doing a couple other things. I ended up getting, I think I got 4 or 5 people to send $5,000. And I was just ecstatic. That was like more money than I'd made in 6 months, right? And but then I realized like all these people are going to come to Boise, and there's only going to be 3 or 4 of them here. And I'm going to look really stupid like I didn't sell anybody. So then I was like kind of scrambling. So I'm like, I need some more people. So I called all my friends up, and I was like, hey, we're doing this thing in Boise. It's going to be 2 days teaching internet marketing. Can you come? And I invited like 10 of my friends. And so I had a room with like 15, probably 20 people that showed up. And I recorded this whole thing. And for 3 days, I taught everything I knew about internet marketing. And that was my first $5,000 workshop. And then from there, we recorded it, put it on DVDs, and we sold the DVDs later for $1,000, and that became my first home study course, and it was just kind of cool. So for me, we've done different back-end programs. I've seen a lot of people do different back-end programs. we saw recently, if you guys saw the case study video for the Blackbox, one of our students, named Brittany. She's in our $25,000 mastermind group. So she's in the weight loss space. And what's interesting with her is that usually, traditionally, in weight loss space, you can't sell high ticket things. Everyone always says that, like, people in weight loss will only spend $30 on an ebook. But she didn't believe that, and so she went out there and did a 4-hour invisible funnel teleseminar, because she didn't even want to do a webinar. And at the end of it, she answered questions, and then she had people go apply, just like the process I'm taking you guys through. People applied. Her assistant called them on the phone, went through the same scripts I'm about to show you guys, and from that was able to close, I think it was like $87,000 in sales in a weekend. So it was really, really cool and really powerful. So that's kind of hopefully gives you guys some ideas. With her coaching program, all she did was, I think it was weekly coaching calls for 14 weeks, where each week they got on and listened to her. I think they paid $2 or $3 grand a piece to be part of it. So for you just got to kind of think about what is it that you've got that you can sell in the high-end format, okay? And the reality is what you're selling right here is going to be identical to what you're selling right here, you guys. The difference is here they're getting it in a 3 to 4 hour presentation. Here they're getting it with you. Okay, where you're coaching them, you're walking them through, they can ask questions, you're doing more live, whatever that is, that's what this is happening right here. Okay, so hope that makes sense. If you guys have specific questions about your coaching program, what should I do? Just go in the members area, submit the question to me, and we can kind of talk about it through there, and we'll make sure we get you straightened out in the right direction. But again, it's going to be the same thing you're teaching here, just in a different format. If you remember a couple weeks ago, I talked about how people will spend the same amount of money, people will spend more money for the same content packaged in a different way. Okay, so all you're doing is taking the same content, you're packaging in a different way. Instead of them listening for 3 or 4 hours, now they're getting to work with you for 3 or 4 months. Okay, and that's kind of the difference. All right, so there's the Blackbox. So what I'm going to talk about right now is I'm going to talk about this process right here, the application process, and then we're going to talk about the actual sales process, and I think you guys will enjoy it, and it should be kind of fun. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to show you this. This is a new banner ad I kind of created for the back of each of my funnels. We've been testing a lot of stuff over the last the last 2 or 3 months. We've really been trying to test this and fine-tune it. And this process is what we have now, and it's one that's working the best. And so this is what I would kind of model for you guys. But at the back of all of our sales processes now, so somebody buys anything, on the thank you page we have, here's your download links, everything like that. There's this banner right here. I blew it up kind of big so you guys can see it. But all the banner basically says is need my help. It says I'm not talking about another course, product, class, or seminar. I want to design and create the system with you. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just click here right now. Okay, so they just bought a product and they're like, cool, I got some information about whatever, and they come here and they're like, oh, Russell will actually work with me to do it. That's really cool. And then they click on this little play button and it takes them to the next page. Okay. Now, one thing that's interesting about this process, you guys, and this is something I had to learn that I didn't understand right out of the gate. I thought initially that like everybody we sent through this funnel, like everyone was going to apply, and they don't. People have to be at a certain spot in their life to be interested enough to apply to work with you, because they know it's going to be costing way more money. They've got to be in a certain spot, and a lot of times they may have just bought this product and they just bought it, and right now they're like, I bought this thing, it's going to change my life, and then you try to ask them to apply. A lot of times they're not going to be ready. They're like, I'm going to go try it out first, and then I'll let you know if I get stuck. And so it's important that you have multiple times that you're promoting this application page. So the first time I do it is on the thank you page. Okay. In fact, I can show you, like on .com Secrets Labs, you see on the thank you page, just at the bottom here, it's like, hey, need my help? Click here. Okay. So it's just on the page after they download all the products they just bought. There's that banner ad. But again, only a percentage, I would say maybe 2 or 3% of the people who buy are actually going to click on that and fill out an application. And so because of that, you need to have a follow-up sequence with people who bought, that you're sending emails to them. Okay. What we see is over about a 30-day period of time, I'm dripping emails talking about things and talking about the cool stuff they learned in here, and then telling them, hey, if you need help, then come over here, and if you want to do this, come over here. And I keep kind of just pushing people back to here gently. You're not slam dunk closing anybody. You're just saying, hey, if you're stuck or you need help, come let me help you. And you kind of keep pushing people through a drip sequence, just through emails over the next 30 days or so, and keep pushing them here. And during that 30-day period of time, the right people are going to rise up to the top, and usually you'll end up getting anywhere from 5 to 10% of people who go through your funnel to actually apply here. Now, if your invisible funnel training is structured so at the end of it you're pitching your application page, you'll get a lot higher percentage. And so the initial funnel I had didn't I did the training webinar, but I never like actually pitched this application in the webinar. But the new ones we are doing, that they will be pitching the application at the end. Okay. All right. So that's the first step. Is you're just, again, your high-end thing is not, here's this new thing. Again, it's not a new course, a new product, new class, new seminar. It's, I'm going to be working with you. Okay. I'm taking this relationship to the next level. Okay. That's what people really want. There's a point where they don't want to learn anything new. They don't want a new trick or a new hack or a new whatever. They just want to work with you. They want you to help them implement because you're the one teaching this stuff. They believe that you know how to do it. Okay. That's why we've got all you guys on this training right now. Obviously you're here because you believe that I could do it. Okay. If you're in the weight loss space, people bought your product because they saw your six pack, they saw you're in good health, whatever it is, and they know that you can do it. Okay. And so this is where you're saying, hey, come work with me and I'm going to take you by the hand and kind of take you on this path and hold you accountable and make sure you're successful. Okay. So that's kind of what's happening here. Now from here, they click on this and the video doesn't play. It actually takes them to my application page. And this is our new application page we just rolled out. And it's kind of cool. It's working really well right now. I'll kind of walk you guys through the process. So the first thing is I have this video right here. And my goal of my videos is two things. My first goal is I just want to get them, and you guys can come watch this video if you want to. If you go to innercircle.dotcomsecrets.com, you can come and see this video to kind of see the psychology behind it. My goal with this was just, I want people to come and basically say, hey, you're here, you're watching this video. That's proof that all this stuff I'm talking about actually works. Otherwise you wouldn't be here right now. And you came here through one of my sales funnels, and then I wanted some kind of bribe or some kind of hook to get them to want to apply, but I didn't want to make it too strong. If you bribe people to apply really, really hard, then you get a bunch of really bad leads that you don't want. And so I didn't want to bribe them hard, but I wanted to get them excited about why they should apply. Outside of just like, hey, you should come apply because whatever, I really wanted this to be like, you should apply because it's going to be an amazing thing. It could change your business, okay? And so because I said, hey, if you apply, I'm going to give you you have a chance to talk to one of my coaches, and it's very upfront. You will talk to one of my coaches, and after the call, my coach is going to go through these 14 funnels, find out which one's best for you, and then he will send you all 14 of these, and then you'll know which funnel you should be applying. Okay, and so that's kind of what the way we bribe them. But they know up front that they're not getting these funnels unless they talk to one of my coaches on the phone, and so it's setting up where I'm getting the right kind of person, not just somebody who's opting in, and it kind of ends there. Okay, and then very simple. It's just step 1 of 3. And then I have some testimonials from people who think I'm cool, because testimonials always help. So if you have any testimonials, putting me in here just for extra proof, right? Okay, someone comes here, they apply, then takes them to the next page where there's an actual application. All right. Now, and again, all of you guys have gone through here. All of you guys have gone through this application, so you know. Before I jump on, we got a good question from Ryan. He says, is your high ticket offer always open, or do you take in people in batches? Is it a new group every 6 weeks? So Ryan, the answer to that is it depends. You can do it however you want. I know with some people, they'll push their train really, really hard, and then they'll close it down, and then they'll do a 6 or an 8 week or whatever that is process, and then when it's done, they graduate everyone, then they reopen it. And the strategy behind that as well. For me, we don't necessarily close ours down. But we keep our group small enough that we can have a lot of personal interaction and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of, you guys got to fill it out. Like, how many people do you feel like you can interact with and help at a good level? And if you oversell it, then it makes it really, really hard. And if you got full-time salespeople, they're not going to want to just sell for a week and then stop for 6 weeks either, you know? So it kind of depends on if you're going to be doing the selling yourself, or if you're going to go and personally, hire salespepeople. And either way will work, and I'll walk you guys through those processes here in a minute. But that's a great question. All right, so here's the application form. Everyone's application form is going to be different, but I want to talk about ours and kind of talk about what we did and why we did it, so you guys can understand. Also, inside of ClickFunnels, you'll be able to build out this entire application funnel just by clicking a button, except for this form. This form is not something ClickFunnels does, but the service that we use, that we love right now, is called Wufoo. There you go. WUFOO.com. And this creates our forms. Like, I literally create that form in about maybe 2 minutes. And then it saves all the people. They fill out the form, and it saves them in a database here. You can scroll through, see who people are. You can, it's really simple and really powerful and really cool software. So And I think it's only like 20 or $30 a month. So that's how you actually get the application page. That's what we do, at least here. Okay. All right. So the first name, obviously first name, the rest for phone number. Now, we used to have phone number like required, but the problem is that these forms always have the phone numbers in this format, which works really good for U.S. But international people, they don't. And we've got a lot of international people that buy our program, as many of you guys know. Many of you guys are overseas. And so we added a second line that says, if your phone number didn't fit here, then type it in here. And that way our international people can get their phone number in. Okay, email we have, Skype we have, their website. Okay, now a couple of things. First thing I say is tell me about your company. What are you selling? What is currently working in your business? Okay, I want to see what's working, because when we get on the phone with them, we want to be able to know, if you don't know anything about the person's business when you get on the phone with them, it's really hard to sell them. But if you get on the phone and say, hey, we saw that you're having success here, that's really cool. And if people you're working with are having some success, especially if you're in like a business environment, you know that they're going to have some more money. Whereas if they're not having success, they probably don't have any money and might not be the right person for your coaching program. Okay, so that's kind of why we asked to kind of find what they've been doing, what's worked. I've seen other people ask questions that says, of all my courses I've sold, which ones have you already gone through? So just questions like that to kind of find out what's working so far. Okay, the next for me is I want to find out what they're already doing as far as sales funnels. So I'm going to be coaching them through the Blackbox, which is the funnel I think is the best. So I want to find out what kind of funnel they're doing. So I asked them about what do they already have. Okay, if I was in weight loss space, I might ask them like, what's your eating program like right now? What's your exercise program? What are you doing right now? Because I want to get more details on that. Okay, the third one is what's your number one problem in your business right now? Okay, this is important because if you know what their problems are, what you're selling is just going to become the solution to their problems. So you need them to say, hey, I'm really struggling with leads or traffic, or my funnel's horrible, or I have no product to sell, or whatever it is. I binge eat, or I do whatever your business is. You want to know what their problem is, because you're going to talk about that when you call them, when you talk to them on the phone and sell them. Because your coaching program should be the solution to their problem. So you need to know what their problem is. And this is an easy way to find that out right out of the gate. Okay. These next questions, they're here, but the main goal of these questions is to find out if the person that you're going to be working with, if they'll have enough money to pay for your coaching program. If they don't, then you don't want to try to sell them. Okay. Every time we've tried to sell somebody who has no money, it just always turns out bad. You want to make sure that people actually, that this is something they can afford. Otherwise, tell them to go buy the cheaper thing and to learn it on their own. If they can't afford to work with you directly, that's good, but you need to find that out ahead of time so you don't waste their time or your time. And that's kind of how you do here. So here, for my business, if they've got a list, they're probably making money. So I like to know how big their list is. I like to know what their monthly gross sales are. Okay, if they're startup and no sales, probably not a good candidate for our coaching program. But if they're any of these other ones, they could be a great candidate. Okay. Now, if somebody is currently making over $50,000 a month, I'm probably not going to sell them my $8,000 coaching program. I'm probably going to sell them my $25,000 or my $100,000 coaching program. Okay. And this helps us know that ahead of time, like, hey, who are we talking to? What kind of a business are we talking with? Okay. Next thing is what's their marketing budget. Again, this gives me a good idea of what they're doing right now. We had somebody yesterday apply whose company's doing like $30-something thousand a month, and they have no advertising budget, and their biggest struggle they have is leads. And that got me excited. I'm like, man, all we have to do is help you spend money to generate leads, and we can make you money really, really quickly. Okay, but I can see that by looking at this, saying, hey, they don't have any advertising budget, or they're only spending this much a month in marketing. We know this is something we can affect. And if they are spending $5,000 or $10,000 a month in marketing, we also know they probably have they're probably a better candidate. They probably have more money to sign up for a high-end coaching program. Okay. All right, now this question is a powerful one. All right, this one actually came from a book that Dan Sullivan wrote called The Question. In fact, I would recommend everyone go and buy this right now. It's like a 40 or 50 page book. You can read it in like an hour and a half, but it's powerful. It's called Dan Sullivan. It's just called Question. Anyway, this book's, like I said, it's worth its weight in gold. For $20, you'll have it. You'll have it read in an hour or two. You can get it on Kindle for $10. But this is powerful. And so this whole question right here is based off his book. And so the question is, if we were having this discussion 3 years from today, and you were looking back over those 3 years, what would have had to happen in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? Okay. That's his question. And the book talks about psychology behind it and how to structure your sales call and things like that. But I like answering that because it gives somebody a chance to like really look at like what's, if I become part of this, what do I have to do to, like, what is it? have to accomplish in my life for me to feel successful about this? And they say, hey, if I can get the point where I'm making $10,000 a month, I'm going to feel successful. Or if I can get the point where I'm covering all my major bills, I'm going to feel successful. When I know that, we can look at that and say, is that realistic? Someone says I want to make $1 million a month. We're probably going to be like, this is not really realistic for you. You probably should join somebody else's coaching program. Russell's program is not designed to make you $1 million a month. But if you're like, hey, I want to increase, if I can get to the point where we're generating 500 buyer leads a month, I can say that and say, yeah, that's something we can definitely do for you. Okay, but I want them future pacing and thinking about where they want to go, because if they're doing that, then I know exactly the path we got to take them on to be successful. Okay. And by the way, if you guys watch this video up here, I also asked that question here in the video. Okay. I'm a student of Dan Sullivan, so I listen to his question and I implement it wherever I can. Okay, next one. This starts to do with posturing. Okay. Now, a big thing as you start selling your coaching programs, the reason why people are going to want to work with you is because of it needs to be partially because of exclusivity. Okay, if I got on the phone with every single person that was on my list, first off, I would die because there's too many people. But second off, my time would no longer be worth anything. Okay, it's all about supply and demand, and so you have to start posturing and positioning yourself as an expert, somebody who your time's worth a lot of money. And so this is where we kind of start this process. And you'll notice that as we get into the sales scripts, it's all about positioning and posturing. And it's such a big part of it. All right. And so this right here, I say, working with Russell's by application only, and there's usually a waiting list. Please describe why you'd be a great fit to work together. And this is really kind of sell you on why they should be working with you. Okay. Why you should work with them. And it's always good to have somebody you're potentially going to be selling to kind of sell you on why they should work with you, right? So it's a good question to ask. Now, for some of you guys, I promise you're going to be probably nervous about positioning yourself as an expert. I know that's a scary thing a lot of times for people, especially at the very beginning. But you've got to get past that. Okay, you're trying to ask people for money. You're trying to help them through your system. You're trying to help somebody. You've got to understand that you are the expert. You are the leader, and you're the one that can help take them to where they want to go. Okay, this is kind of I'm not sure if I'll define this really quick, but I hope I can. So this is a dude on YouTube. What if he pulls up just for juicing? Oh, please say I can find him. This would make yes. This is the dude. Okay. So this guy right here. Oh, it's going to make me watch an advertisement first. Here, bear with me for 4 seconds so I can skip this. All right. Okay, so anyone here on the call seen this dude right here? This guy's awesome. So he literally has 1,598 videos of him in front of his RV, most of the time with his shirts off, sometimes dressed like kind of a lunatic, but he's always out here juicing, and he has the coolest juicing recipes in the world, and the dude's ripped, and he just juices all day long, right? And so we saw this guy. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago, the first time we saw him on YouTube, when some of my friends were getting into juicing. And one of the guys worked with us, his name was Garrett. He was hardcore into it, and he was following this guy and telling all of us you guys got to go watch his videos, and look at this dude. He gets 300,000 views on this juicing video of him with his shirt off, right? In front of his RV, which still cracks me up. I think he's homeless, but I'm not positive. But what's cool about it, so Garrett actually emailed him and was like, hey man, I love your videos. Love to just get on a call with you real quick and ask you some questions about what you're doing. And the guy's like, yeah, that no problems. Here's my rate card. And he sent him a rate card. And again, this was 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know what he charges now, but at the time it was like $100 to $150 per hour to get on the phone and talk with this dude. Okay. This dude, who again is probably homeless, is in a spot where he positioned himself as an expert in juicing. Okay. And people like us not only interested, but we actually paid him to get on the phone with him for an hour to get his ideas for his system, his secrets, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, for those of you guys who are in this program and you're nervous about how do I position myself as an expert, I want you to get some inspiration from this guy. He's charging $100 to $200 an hour to talk to him on the phone about juicing. Okay. I promise you that you're as much, if not more, an expert in your field, whatever it is you're doing, than this guy. And you've got to be willing to really step up and say, look, I'm an expert. I understand this thing. I'm willing to get up there, and people should pay to get from me. I'm worth that much. Okay. Now, for all of you guys, you got to figure out what you're worth. What's your time worth to you? Okay. For someone to join your coaching program, is it going to be $1,000? Going to be $5,000? Going to be $10,000? I've got a couple of you guys who are going through this program, and specifically, I think the biggest problems in your business right now is you're not charging enough. Okay, I would say when you're looking at high ticket things like this, like I would say $5,000 should be the minimum you charge. And you say, well, Russell, what if my people can't charge can't afford 5,000? And the answer is, then you're going after the wrong people. Okay. When you build out this funnel, if you're building this thing correctly, it's going to attract the right type of people. Okay. If you notice our new offer, .com Secrets Labs, it's all created to attract people who are business owners who want to do split testing. Okay, those are my ideal customers because they can spend a lot more money on a coaching program traditionally. Okay, if you're selling a front end thing that's not sexy and it doesn't attract somebody who can afford something, you got to change that. You changing this front end is going to change who pops out the back over here. Okay, that's a key. I hope you guys are getting this. This is some important stuff. All right. So I don't know why I want to share it with the juice guy, but I thought it was awesome. So, all right. So people got to apply to be with you. You are as Dan Kennedy would say, you are the guru on the mountain. And if they want to work with you, they've got to pay to be part of it. They got to pay to play. Okay. So you got to find out, they got to sell themselves on why they would be a good fit to work with you. And then down here, when you look to take action now, soon, someday, this is trying to find out how serious they are. And down here, fill in the blank, I'm an excuse maker, I'm a procrastinator, I'm an action taker. This is, again, trying to help us find out, like, what kind of person are they? If we do decide to work with them, are they going to be ready to take action now? Or are they going to be like, oh, well, call me in a month and we'll talk about it then? Okay? I don't know about you guys, but not just from the fact that, like, I want to get people's money now, but the type of person who says, oh, give me 3 or 4 weeks and I'll sign up, is the same type of person who will never be successful in life. Okay, they are forever waiters and never action takers. Okay, the fact that you guys are on this webinar means you took action. It means you saw an opportunity, you took it, you moved forward, and that says a lot about you. And that for you guys, it's also the type of person you want to work with. Somebody who says I'm an excuse maker or procrastinator, I don't want to work with them. They're going to be a headache. They're going to be 10 times as much work, and they're not going to be the kind of person who's going to be successful. But the dude who says I'm looking to take action now, I'm an action taker. Those are the people you want to work with because those are the people who are going to implement what you're saying. They're going to have success, and they're going to be happy with your coaching. Okay, if they're not implementers, I promise you, they are not going. They're not going to be the kind of person that's going to be a success story. They're going to be the kind of person that becomes like a thorn in your side. Okay, and so hopefully you guys see some psychology behind this form. It's really to try to weed out the wrong kind of people. Okay, we only want to be talking to and selling people who are the right fit. Right fit from a financial standpoint, right fit from a mentality standpoint. I want to make sure that they've got money. I want to make sure they're serious. I want to make sure that their problem is something that I can actually solve. I want to make sure that that they're willing to sell themselves on working with me. I want to make sure that they're an action taker. Okay. So you guys, is this looking familiar? I mean, again, all you guys came through this process. You saw how we kind of sifted and sorted. You weren't. If you were on this call right now, you were someone who was a good fit. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. Okay. Okay. Someone said, for those who check procrastinator, do not call them back. No. So what we do is as we go through our leads, we sort them. We say, who's the person that's going to be the best fit for us to go through? And every day, look at the leads. Say, this person's going to be the best. Let's call them first. This person will be second best. Let's call them third. And we kind of grade them. If you run out of leads, you can call a procrastinator. And maybe they just check the wrong box, which does actually happen more often than you think. But I'm definitely not going to call them first if I know that's who they are. But if they're an action taker, you spend your time where the biggest return is going to come from. Great question. Awesome. Chris just said, I remember my feelings as I was going through it. I was ready to quit my job to join. Wow, it really works. Yeah. Again, all this stuff is about state, you guys. When you're trying to sell someone, you got to get them into the right state. And so, again, there's a lot of psychology behind this, and I don't think there's anyone else in the world that would ever share this with you. So I hope you guys are getting this and see kind of the value behind it. But it's really powerful. All right. Okay. Next step. So after they apply, then we take them to a homework page. Now, the homework page, there's a lot of psychology behind here as well. I'm going to show you guys a couple things, and a couple things we're changing. So the first step here is, a lot of you guys saw, we have schedule your appointment with either Troy, Kimberly, or Robbie. We are actually taking this part out right now. And the reason why is most people who are scheduling an appointment are scheduling it 3 to 4 days in the future. And I want to talk to people right when they're excited. Like they apply, I want to talk to them 5 minutes later because that's when they're excited. So by tomorrow, this section, the homework section, will be different. We're no longer allowing people to schedule appointments. Okay, because I want to be able to call them immediately and get them excited and start. I might have an option where they can call me immediately and start talking to us, but we're not going to have them scheduled. So that's just something that we've been testing over the last few weeks, and we've made a definite call that we're going to be pulling the appointment. So, but definitely having them know that this is serious, okay? And that's kind of the first step. This is what's going to be happening. So you're telling them what to expect. Okay, because they get some random call and they're not expecting a phone call, they're gonna be like, "What's going on?" But if you tell them, "Hey, someone's gonna, either Troy, Kimberly, or Robbie from my office is gonna call me," or if you have a smaller team, it's gonna, "Hey, either me or my partner's gonna call you, or my assistant's gonna call you," whatever it is. But you have that person who they're looking forward to, so they're anxiously waiting for that call. Okay, that's a big key. All right. Okay, now step number 2, and again, there's different things you can do. I'm gonna walk you through what I did, but before someone gets on the call with one of our salespeople, I want them to be sold on me. Okay, I want them to be sold on why they should be working with me. So this first video I had them watch is the 7 Secrets of Success video, and most of you guys probably watched this. This video is really just going through the mindset, because I want people to understand that, like, to be successful in business, you've got to invest. Okay, so I'm trying to get these things in their head. They got to invest. They got to take action. They got to do all the things that they do need to do in business, but also things that kind of pre-sell when they're on the phone with our salesperson. This video kind of goes through that. Okay, so if you want to come to this page, you can watch it. Again, it's innercircle.dotcomsecrets.com/homework and watch this video. And you can make a version that's kind of similar if you want, but this is for me to try to get somebody in a state where they know that, yes, I need to take action. I can't delay anymore. If I want to be successful, I got to do what successful people do and move forward on things. Okay, that's the goal of this video. Okay, the second goal, the second video here, is for them just to build a personal relationship with me. Okay, so again, this first one's more focusing on the success principles they need to have to be successful, which are all things that are going to help our salesperson to close. Second one is building the relationship with me. So this is the video, I'm sure some of you guys have seen this, where I talk about why I'm so passionate about business. And I share the story about my wife and I and us trying to get pregnant, and the company who was out there marketing, who we found, and because of them we were able to have our family. And this is an emotional video, and I can't tell you how many of you guys who are on this program right now who watched that video and said, and told Troy, Kimberly, Robbie specifically, you said, "You know what, I'm here because I trust Russell." Okay, nobody ever told me that until I added this video in here. So I recommend putting some kind of video or something in place that'll just tell your story so people will trust you more. Okay, they're not going to sign up for something they don't like. If they trust you, they're going to be willing to sign up with you. Okay, so trust is a big thing. This is our video to help give them trust, and this is more of a proof video. This is Chad is one of my buddies. He spent an hour with me. And we took his business from going bankrupt to being really successful just by spending an hour. So he just kind of told his experience. I spent an hour with Russell, and man, it changed my business. If you have a chance to work with him, do it. Do not miss out on this. Okay. All right. And then at the end, say if you want to call us right now, boom, give us a phone call. And so that's kind of the process. Yeah, some people say you don't remember all. So we've been tweaking this, like I said, over the last 4 or 5 months. We've been tweaking this and changing a lot. This is the version we have right now. Now, for a lot of you guys, you're not going to have a video like this and a video like this and all these things already done. That's fine. But I have some kind of video on there that basically is introducing them to you and just say, "Hey, my name is Joe, and you're here right now, or my name's whatever, and this is my wife, this is my team," or whatever it is, and just kind of make the goal of this page is to make you very, very real. And so when they talk to you on the phone, they're like, "Man, I can relate to that person. I want to work with them." And so the homework for me, is just that, is to get people in a state where they trust you, they're excited to be working with you, and so when they call them on the phone, it just makes, again, it's tweaking the frame that people are going to be talking to your salesperson with. And the better you can manipulate and tweak that frame, the more likely the sell will happen on the next page. Okay. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, so that's what's happening here. Now, behind the scenes, after somebody goes through this process, a couple other things are happening. So after somebody comes here and they apply, again, the way this whole thing is being structured is, and not just that it's being structured this way, but it's true, is that this is something we don't take everybody. In fact, we turn down, I say we turn down probably 10 to 15 people a day we don't accept into our program just because they're not a good fit. I only want work with people who are successful, people who have the capability to be successful, which is why you guys are here. And so, but I want to cause what's called a takeaway sale. I want people to feel like they've got to come through some hoops to be able to work with me. Okay, because the harder someone tries to get closer to you, the more likely they are to purchase. In fact, this is kind of a funny example of that. When I first I was telling Kimberly this story yesterday, I believe. So when I was first getting this business, I was learning about everything, and I was making a little bit of money online, not a ton, but I'd say probably was about $100,000 I'd made so far online. So I was feeling pretty good about myself. And one day it was we were living in our old duplex that we had bought, and we were renting out part of it, and woke up in the morning. It was supposed to be a holiday weekend, and we were really excited. We were gonna go take off, and we walked outside and we stepped on the grass, and the grass was soaking wet. My foot like smushed into the water, and I was like, oh man, what in the world just happened here? And so we looked out there, and my whole yard was flooded. So I went over there, and I found that a pipe had broke. Called the city. They came over and they said, hey, the pipe that broke somewhere in your yard, so you got to deal with it. And so I had to cancel our fun trip for the day and start digging a hole in my front yard. I ended up digging this hole. It was like, I don't know, 8 feet deep, and I had to be able to find where in the world this pipe was broken. And it took me the entire day. But before I started, I was out there digging. I'm like, I gotta listen to something. I'm gonna go crazy. And somebody had sent me these Dan Kennedy CDs before, and I had tried to listen to him, but I just didn't like Dan Kennedy. I thought he was kind of boring, but I decided to listen to it. So I started listening to this thing, and over 8 hours of me digging, I listened to the entire CD course, and I was just like, this was awesome stuff. I really enjoyed it. And in the course, he was talking about how he's got this high-ticket mastermind group and how all the best people are there. He was talking about who was in there. And I remember listening to that, and I just thought, I need to be part of that program. I don't care what it's going to take. I need to be there. Like that just, it sounded like the greatest thing in the world. And so I called their company. I'm like, hey, how do I get in? I think they called it their inner circle or their platinum. I can't remember what they called it, but I was like, I want to be in this thing. And they're like, well, sorry, we only accept 18 people a year. And, there's like 50 applications already in. If you want, you can submit an application, but you're probably not going to get in for a couple of years. And they said most people have to like ascend through different levels. Like you had to sign up for our $8,000 a year program before you can get into our higher one. And I was like, well, I don't want to wait. I just want to get the best thing right now. Like I just want to jump to the top, right? And so I kept calling them and bugging them, and they're like, we got your application. We'll review it. We'll get back to you. And at the time, I had a friend that was working for them, so I called him up. I was like, you got to figure out a way to get me in. I want to be part of this thing. Like I want to, whatever it takes. So he pulled some strings, and finally they sent me an email saying, okay, fine, we'll accept you. You're in the program. Congratulations. Here's a link to go and buy. And I had no idea at the time what it was going to cost. I assumed it was like maybe 10 grand, which was a fortune to me. I was like, how am I going to afford 10 grand? They sent over the order form, and it was a $25,000 program. And I was like, oh man, I don't even know what to do right now. Like that's so much money. And so because of that, but I was too like prideful to say no at that point. Like I'd worked my butt off to get in, and now like I got to pay 25 grand. And so I went and I paid the $25,000, which again was a fourth of everything I'd ever made online. It was probably all the money we had in our account at the time. And I joined. I remember going to that first mastermind scared to death. Like how in the world am I gonna to cover this and be part of it? But I look at that, and that was like really the turning point in my business, that within a year I'd done over $1 million, and within 3 years we'd done over $10 million. And I really look at joining that mastermind as one of the key points. Okay. Now the reason why I told you that story is just, you see how hard I worked to get in because they wouldn't let me in. Okay, that's called a takeaway sell, where they just keep saying, no, you can't, no, this isn't going to be a good fit for you. And the more of that there is, the more desire that creates for the person on the other side. Okay, I look at my kids now. The more I tell them they can't have dessert, the more they start begging me for dessert. The more I say you got to go to bed, we're not watching a movie, the more they beg me to be part of the movie. Okay, by taking something away from somebody, it causes a lot of desire. Okay, and so what we do is after somebody applies, we start sending out an email sequence that with the number one goal is to create desire. Okay, to make them want to be part of it. So I'm going to show you some of these emails, and the new ones have tweaked a little bit, but this is still about it. Okay, these are the ones we had when the coaching program was called the 30-Day Shortcut. The first one basically says, hey, thank you so much for applying for the 30-Day Shortcut, which now, again, the new version says for the .com Secrets Inner Circle. We've received your application, and we're looking forward to talking with you. Here's what to expect next. First, please complete your homework. You can see your assignment here. Boom, and I take them the homework page. And second, the next day or so, our team will be reviewing and pre-approving applications. In the next 24 to 72 hours, you'll be hearing from us. Note, if you are accepted, in the next 24 to 72 hours, you'll be getting a phone call from one of our team members to go over your application. If you're not accepted, you will receive an email letting you know that you aren't accepted and what our suggestions are for you to take next. Thanks again, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Okay, what I did right now is I planted a seed of doubt in their minds. They're like, oh, what if I don't get accepted? What am I going to do? Okay, and I want that because I want to start creating that desire for what I'm going to be talking to them about. So then email number 2 comes the next day. Subject line says, I'm deeply sorry. Okay, for those waiting for this, are just like, oh, crap, I didn't get in. And I come back, hey, I want to apologize. We knew we were going to get a lot of interest for the 30-day shortcut, but we didn't realize it would be this much, so we're taking this very serious. We can't accept everyone right now. We've been spending a significant amount of time going through each and every application. It's taking longer than we had thought. Now, one side note, you guys, this is all true. This is not something we just made up. But you see how this process makes you like, oh man, I got to figure out, I need to get in this thing, okay? It's a desire amplifier. Okay, I'll let you know who our finalist choices are. And if you're one of them within the next day or so, I have most staff working on these right now, so thanks for your patience. P.S. Make sure you've completed your homework, so when we do talk, you're going to be prepared. The homework is listed here. Okay, and so that's kind of the process. I got a couple more emails to go out, but same kind of thing. Okay, not got called yet. The subject line. Okay, from all the nervous phone calls and emails we're getting, I get it. You want in and you want in now. If you're still if you're still waiting to get called back on your application, but you're ready to move now, you can give us a call and we'll jump you in the front of the line. Step 1, make sure you're in your homework. Step 2, give us a call here. This doesn't guarantee you to be accepted, but it'll give you a chance to start talking to us right now. Sound good? Cool. I'll call you in a few minutes. And we get a ton of people now who are calling us, okay, from this email. Now, if they're calling you, does that change anything in their mind? Okay, yeah, it's way more effective. If someone's calling you saying, hey, tell me about the inner circle, I want in, then you calling them saying, hey, I'm calling you about the inner circle. Okay, it just changes, again, it changes the whole perception where they're kind of chasing you. And if they do that, it makes it so much easier to sell somebody. All right. Okay. All right. So let me come through. A couple questions came through. Okay. Ryan said, out of curiosity, how many applications do you get a day? So that's a great question. And what's nice about this process is you can kind of gauge that. So what we do is we just drive traffic to here, and then applications fall out the back. Okay, and so if I need more applications, there's two things you can do. You can start driving more traffic to the front of it here, or the existing people who have come through this funnel, you can send an email out. Like yesterday, we wanted a few more applications, so I sent an email out to a segment of our buyers and said, hey, come join the program if you need some help. And we got, I think, 40 applications yesterday, which was way more than we needed or wanted, but that's what we got. So now we got a whole bunch of applications that came in very short period of time. But you kind of tweak it. If you want more, then you increase it. If you want less, you can decrease it. I would say for us, our sweet spot's about 10 to 15 applications a day is about where our sweet spot is. If we get more than that, we can't handle them all. If we get less than that, then people are sitting around. So, good question. All right. Okay. So there is the process. All right. Now after they've applied, then we get the applications internally, and then there's a process. There's a process now to sell somebody on the phone. We got one more question. So, it's a good one. So Eugene's asking, so for every free CD you get, how many applications do you get? So it's a hard number to be able to say, because a lot of it just depends on how aggressive you are with your campaign. After someone gets your free thing, how many emails you're sending, what's your plan, how good's your hook? For us, it was kind of funny. One of the big ahas I had at Ryan Dice's mastermind group that I went to last month was that they do is they say when someone comes in your front end, you've got to build an application generating machine. So your entire goal after they come in here is to get them to apply. So building out a whole email sequence, a whole bunch of stuff to do that. Some of you guys may have saw the email. If you've bought .com Secrets Labs, you should have gotten an email yesterday. Oops, wrong one.
Hey everyone.
Com.
I am super excited right now because we just got back in.
Let me switch the page here. So .comsecrets.com. I'm in the process right now of building out like a 20-day autoresponder sequence. And all I'm doing is just giving some killer, amazing content. So this is email number 1. So anyone who buys .com Secrets Labs, the first email they get takes them here and it's like, hey guys, I just made this cool 25-minute video talking about the lifeline of a lead. And I walk people through kind of this really cool process. And at the end say, hey, if you want to be part of my inner circle, come apply right here. And so every day for, again, I'm not sure how many days yet, maybe 10 days or something, they're going to get an email after they buy my free plus shipping thing that's just leading them to cool stuff where I'm just sharing ideas and giving them tips with a goal to keep pushing them down here to apply. And then in there, I'll have some harder ones that says, hey, application's running out, trying to push people to go and take action now. But that's kind of the process. It's just after they come in, send them cool stuff that gets them inspired to come over here and to subscribe. So Chris asked if I could put some email sequence copy examples in the resource section. Yeah, I could try to do that for sure. But I mean, again, there's no magic sauce to my sequence, you guys. It's just trying to deliver tons of value. So somebody just bought this free plus shipping thing. What other cool things can I talk about based around that concept to push people back to his application? Okay. So this is a good example of, where did it go? There we go. This is a good example of one. So some of you guys probably got that. If not, go watch the video. It was really good. And if you liked it, come comment. I'm going to get more people commenting. Anyway, kind of fun. All right. So let me come back here. Okay, so that's kind of the process of what's happening online with the applications. Now, after the application's filled out, then there's a two-step process that, again, every one of you guys went through that you will take your people through as well. And I'm not going to train on this during this call because it'll take me 5 or 6 hours to do it. And but what I did do is Robbie, Troy, and Kimberly recorded their entire, Robbie recorded the whole process of him teaching how to use the scripts that we use. Okay, and so when you guys watch this, it'll probably sound very familiar because you guys all had a chance again to go through this process with us. Now there's a two-part process when you're selling someone. There's the set, and then there's the close. Okay, the set is basically the first person that's going to talk to him. Okay, now if you are a small company, one or two person show, the set's probably going to be an assistant that you hire. Okay, it could be somebody who's it could be a personal assistant, it could be a secretary, it could be whatever. But the person doing the set, the goal of them is to get on the phone and to review the application with the person and find out if they're going to be a good fit for you. And that's basically what it is. And so Robbie will walk you through this video here that's going to walk you through the set script, how it works. And so for you guys, you can watch it, or if you hire a personal assistant, just this video we created to train our new salespeople. And so you can just show them this video, have them watch it, and Robbie will basically train them on how to do the set script. Okay. And again, it's the person taking the application, going through it, calling the person on the phone, and finding out if they're going to be a good fit for your program. Okay. Now the close script is the second part. And this is where you talk to the person who's in charge of the program. Sometimes that person is going to be you. Okay. Sometimes if your company gets a little bigger and you don't have time to talk to everyone, then whoever's the head of your coaching department would be doing that one. Okay. So if you guys remember, most of you guys probably went through this process and you talked to somebody, so you talk to somebody first who was our setter, and then you talk to somebody second who was our closer. Okay. Then after you close somebody, then there's a compliance script to make sure that you get kind of a verbal contract with somebody. And so these videos in here, you guys, will train you on that 3-step process. Okay. And if you go to find that, you just come down here to module week number 5 and click on building your sales team, and those videos are all in here. Okay. We have another video that we'll be adding probably tomorrow in here that'll walk you through some of the technical stuff, like how to get your Vonage box lined up, and just kind of the elements, like how to pay your salespeople, how to pay commissions, like all those kind of questions will be the 4th video that should be in there again, probably by tomorrow or before the end of the week. It should be in there as well. But this will give you guys a lot of really cool stuff on how to use the sales scripts that we use that obviously are very, very effective. Cool. All right. So that's kind of the process, you guys. In a nutshell, we've been on here for about an hour, but you've kind of seen the process we've gone through. You've seen the online, the parts, here's the psychology. They need my help, moving them to an application, moving them to more of a full application, to your homework page. And then from there, all the training for what to do on the phone with them is all here in the members area. Good. Awesome. Do you have any questions? Anyone have any questions right now about anything? I'm sure that a lot of you guys have more questions probably after you go through this a little bit. And if you do, feel free to, again, send me a video message, and we can walk you through any piece of it you want. But I think you'll start seeing some things become familiar when you do it. Okay. Which is kind of the fun part of my business. Everyone's like, is it weird that you teach people how you were able to sell them? And it could be weird, but I think for me, that's my favorite part. Like, I literally, if you come to my office, I've got probably $300,000 or $400,000 worth of products that I've purchased. You can see part of my library back here behind Robbie. But I buy it for 2 reasons. One, I like getting the product, but second, I like seeing the sales process, and that's for me more valuable than anything else. And so again, we kind of debated, like, do we share this stuff with you or not? But my goal for you guys is to be as successful as possible. So I wanted to really just open up the curtains and give you guys everything that we're doing, so you understand this is how the whole process works. There's nothing we're trying to trick you or hide you. This is how it works, and it's something you can model and use in your business as well. And it'll make your guys' jobs a million times easier. The few other people I know that have that teach how to sell back-end things never have any kind of script. They just kind of tell people, yeah, get on the phone with them and just, you just sell them now. And I don't think that's really that realistic. There's a lot that goes into sales, and there's scripts that work, and there's a lot of cool stuff. And so that's kind of what this extra training is in here for you guys. And again, the only people we've ever shared this with before are the people that paid us $25,000 or $100,000 to have us help them build out their own mini call center. And so you guys are getting this as a bonus just because we love y'all. So, all right. Very, very cool. Okay. Joe says too high end for me. Yeah, if it's too high end for you guys, I'm trying to give you the entire process, but if you're not ready for this part of it yet, just come back to this part and just focus on where you're at. But I want to give you the tools so that when you are ready for this part and you're like, boom, I need this, you'll be able to come in. Good. Yes, some asked if I've gotten some videos. I'm a couple days behind on videos, so I'll be responding to those probably tonight or tomorrow. So you'll have answers back from me if you submitted a video. And the next question was the software. I'm glad you guys asked that. The software is looking amazing. Our goal is to give it to you guys next week. I think our programmer is actually flying out here for us to do all the final run-throughs and everything, and then we need you guys to beta test it. So you'll each get an account. You'll go in there and have fun just beating on it. If you find any problems, you let us know. Because of that, next week's training, I'm not sure what day it's going to be on yet. I might do it later in the week because I want to make sure that training I want to give you guys the software and give you the ability to start going and creating some funnels. And so I'll let you know next week what day that'll be. Again, it might be closer to Thursday, just because, again, I want to spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with Todd here in the office getting it perfect, and then we can pass it off, let you guys play with it Thursday, do a training, showing you how it all works, and then at that point forward, you guys will have the greatest tool in the world, which I'm excited for you guys. It'll be, you guys will love it. So, Chris says, I love the idea of beating on ClickFunnels. Where our goal, if you guys watch the video, our goal is to make it unbreakable. So there's no way you guys can screw up a funnel. They'll look beautiful no matter what. Like I said, you'll be literally, all these templates I've ever created for myself, we have all these in there. So you'll say, okay, I want to use the coaching funnel. You click a button, boom, it'll pop out this page, pop out this page, it'll pop out this, all 3 pages will be popped out, and you just click on here, boom, and you type in your headline, you type in your thing, and you just tweak it. And so it should literally be just like pretty much the coolest thing in the world. So, can you please show us your wallpaper so we can match the feet with the face? Oh, you guys want to see my kids? Yes, there are my kids. For those who want to see, let me move all this stuff so you can see them better. So these are my twins, Dallin and Bowen. Dallin was born 9 minutes earlier than Bowen. They are now 8 years old. This is my daughter Ellie, who is 6 years old, almost 7, and this is Aiden, who is our 3.5-year-old, almost 4 now. So there they are. That's my family. Very, very cool. Awesome. Okay, well, I appreciate you guys. I'll get this training in the members area as quick as we can. Also, if you look in here, you'll notice we got in last week's training is in here in the attractive character. You see there, and also there's a bunch of resources I put in here as well, a whole bunch of really cool stuff, because I wanted you to be able to dig a lot deeper there. And then week 5, building your sales team stuff, this is where you can find the videos from our sales team. And this video will go right here in the application process. That should be there probably by tomorrow. And then next week we'll do your funnel. So it's getting exciting, guys. After we get your funnel, we'll be building those things out, and then we start focusing on traffic. And I think that's what's going to get really fun. So it's gonna be awesome. So Frank said, 4 kids and all your businesses, do you ever sleep? No, sleep is a waste of time. Anyway, that's my philosophy. But anyway, I'm having too much fun to sleep. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Have an awesome weekend, or I guess it's only Tuesday right now. Awesome week, and then look for next week. We'll start doing the actual sales funnels. It'll be a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys, and we will talk soon.